I used to spend my summers by the beach, building sandcastles and getting sunburned. My mom would bring this big yellow umbrella to give us shade. It seemed as if my entire world fit beneath its cover. My mom never learned how to swim, so I felt this urge to explore the ocean and tell her all about it. I swam too far and I dove too deep. Something about being in the ocean made my childhood self feel connected. Maybe it was to nature, to the world around me, that I felt this pull. This inclusion in something bigger than myself, and a reminder that although I was small, I was still a piece of this huge, crazy world. A piece that mattered. I don't know why someone would want to take that away from me.
Ready for this?
Check it. In 2008, tech billionaire Vinod Khosla purchased 89 acres of property surrounding Martins Beach, a popular swimming, surfing, and fishing spot for generations. In 2010, Khosla decided to close the gates leading to Martins Beach in order to eliminate public access. For the past 7 years, Khosla, the California Coastal Commission, and the Surfrider Foundation have been in a legal battle over the public access. With every appeal, the courts have insisted that he reopen the gate. But to this day, it remains closed. My friend Maddie and I came across the controversy. Khosla's disregard for public access spiked our interest. Why was it so important for him to keep people out? By claiming ownership of what was once public property, is he really saying that access to our beaches is charity rather than a human right? Is his stake in the ocean, the sand, and our memories greater than our own simply because of the size of his bank account? We've always believed the California coast belongs to everyone, whether you have $1 billion or one. Maddie and I couldn't understand Khosla's motives, so we decided to ask him ourselves. After calling and emailing with little to no response, we packed up our stuff and traveled up the coast to find out the true story of Martins Beach from Khosla himself.
The Dini family, who had owned this little special, iconic beach in San Mateo County, decided after 65 years that they were going to put this ranch up for sale. So about 2007 is when the venture capitalist and billionaire from Silicon Valley, Vinod Khosla, took an interest in Martins Beach. Before he closed the deal and purchased Martins Beach, they had meetings with both the Coastal Commission and representatives from San Mateo County, and they were informed in no uncertain terms that Martins Beach was a public beach and that if Vinod Khosla purchased the property, he was bound by law to continue to operate that ranch with public access until such time as he made permit applications and received approvals for any limits on public access in the future.
Hi! We should ask if they know Khosla.
Yeah.
I want to understand how that works. So, like, if we had a neighbor.
Because they used to get like $15 from everyone who wanted to park down here. And I think they just gave it to all the homeowners. And now that he like built that gate, nobody's getting any money from visiting the beach, and like nobody else can drive down here. Khosla. He's the one who like walked off the gate.
Well, it's not that. It's this place has been private property all along since the Geralda something or other treaty. And the only thing is, it was owned more recently before Khosla for 100 years by one family.
Yeah.
It was always private property, though. They leased it. They made a business out of it. They charged for parking. They had a restaurant. This was an ongoing concern that it never was public.
Yeah.
But they had public access for a price. price. They tried to sell it to everybody. Nobody wanted to buy it. California government didn't want to buy it. Nobody would buy it. So all Khosla did is, in the beginning, I mean, I don't know the man.
Yeah, no,
And he certainly has animosity toward everybody hates him.
Yeah.
He has a problem with everybody. I don't think he'll be able to get anything through. Whether the lawyers rooted for him or not, I'm not sure. But all he did was have the gate open originally. Not enough people came to warrant it, and so he closed the gate. And then when the surfers, were, I've been here for my whole life, then they all wanted to have access, because suddenly once you can't have something, then they wanted it.
Well, the people that live here, there's some people that are in favor of the Surfrider Foundation. Some people like it the way it is. They just like to have this little private beach. They're not going to have a choice, because the lease runs out in a couple of years, and so he can boot them all out. I assumed that what he was going to do was kick them all out and build his mansion out here. We asked him that when he was in court, and he said, no, I don't know what I'm going to do.
In our research, we came across an interview with Khosla where he attempts to explain himself.
It's clear you care deeply about the environment. You are incredibly philanthropic. You've pledged to give away half of your wealth. Yet, one of the stories that gets written about you most is about a lawsuit that you're involved in around public access to your beach. Some people would say that's at odds.
It's about property rights and about a set of people who want to use coercion. In fact, they told me they'd like to embarrass me into giving up my rights. Well, if you have a belief system, even though it's unpopular, even though the press all knocks you for it, you want to live by your principles.
Since Vinod has purchased the property, he has destroyed all the public amenities that were historically part of Martins Beach. So the public parking along the shoreline is gone. He's built a riprap seawall. Theoretically, that wall's unpermitted and subject to $15,000 a day fines and penalties under the Coastal Act. He destroyed the public store, the restrooms. There was a whole entire beach where events and weddings occurred on the south end of Martins Beach. The access to that beach has been destroyed.
Khosla destroyed it. Okay. As soon as he bought the property, he destroyed this and the restaurant right next door. This looks like it could have been like a fish tackle store or something. I don't know. Wow. Doesn't matter now. All ruined anyways.
Everybody in California, and for that matter in the world, we all own the state tidelands in the state of California. They belong to all of us, which means we all have the right to go and enjoy them. So if a private landowner blocks a historic right or changes something on the ground that prevents the public from getting through and fails to obtain a permit to do that, then that is a big problem, and that's when the Coastal Commission steps in to protect the citizens' rights.
If Khosla wants to have a private beach, he can move to New Jersey. They have private beaches in New Jersey. Or he can move in next door to Donald Trump down there at Mar-a-Lago. They're in Florida. They have private beaches back there.
So right now we're trying to find Khosla's house.
Having a bit of trouble.
Don't really know where we're going, but we'll get there, hopefully. Yes!
We're here?
Yeah, so then we go up this road,
Okay.
I think. I hope.
We should write him a letter. Do you know which number it is?
Nope. But like, if
You're
we
not
just
opening
check
it?
the mailboxes,
Yeah.
should we do that right now
Yeah.
while we're waiting?
It's Sunday. Mail doesn't come on Sundays.
Ah, damn it. This seems like it would be it.
Guard dog. Oh my god, this is scary.
This is definitely it. Well, here's the buzzer, moment of truth. No answer.
Our relationship began in the ocean, and it is the ocean that keeps us passionate about surfing, about life, and especially about each other.
Come with me, my love, to the sea of love. I wanna tell you how much I love you.
Our wedding was really small. We had about 8 or 10 people, just a few friends. It was on a Monday. Picked that day randomly. We all got ourselves down there and walked down to Mackey's Cove, which is just to the north of Martin's Beach. It's just the little cove to the north. You can walk there from down at Martin's Beach. And we performed the ceremony, and then we all went surfing afterwards. It was just a really beautiful, sunny, warm day. I'm pretty mad about the situation at Martin's Beach, that the guy thinks he can come in and buy the property and close the gate because he's rich and wants to, and just shut everybody out just because he wants to. He's like a child having a tantrum and saying, it's all mine, you can and won't share.
I honestly don't even want to go down there anymore, just because it's the vibe. I just don't like it. Even though you can walk down there, you can go over the fence and walk down, I really don't even want to go.
It's not like it was before.
No, it's just such a different vibe there because of him. It's sad. Yeah. It really is.
It's great to come here, it's beautiful, but you have no lifeguards. It's rip time. It's taking people. People don't realize they have their children there and their children are playing in the water. This is not the Atlantic Ocean.
After no luck reaching Khosla, we reached out to reporter Julia Scott by Skype. They told me that you ended up being the person who was able to find out who bought the land and who was shutting it off. How did you do that?
I was never able to definitively establish that Vinod Khosla owned the property. I think I'm just going to go to his office and see if I can get him to talk to me. I got lucky, and he came out of the building. I looked at him and said, "Oh, Mr. Khosla," and I jumped up and I introduced myself as a reporter for the San Mateo County Times, which instantly caused him to continue to walk away from me.
So after talking with Julia Scott, we decided to go to Khosla Ventures for ourselves. We drove up to Palo Alto, walked straight up to the front desk. We asked them if we could interview Khosla. The assistant was very accommodating. She gave us Khosla's assistant's email and told us to send our film information to that email, so we emailed them.
Although the front desk was very accommodating and we emailed and called various times, still Khosla or his team have yet to respond to us in any way.
I first got involved when the gate became closed and I became aware that it was no more public access, but also at the same time, Mr. Khosla planted Monterey cypress trees for a half a mile along the edge of Highway 1, so that eventually when you drive down Highway 1, you wouldn't see the ocean anymore. And he needed a permit to plant those trees. So I filed a complaint with the county planning department, and in fact, they did remove all those trees. So we still have the view as you drive along Highway 1.
When we encounter an issue like this where there is what we perceive to be a violation of the California Coastal Act, our first step is to contact the property owner and the usual thing. Sit down and talk about it and discuss what the issues are, what we see as the problem, and how we would see resolution coming. Sometimes we are able to resolve something that way. More likely, the next step is we all sit down at the table with lawyers, and then the litigation begins.
So we had a week-long trial with Vinod Khosla and his lawyers in 2012. We put all the evidence of the long history of public access, the entitlements regarding a continued public access at Martin's Beach, and we won. Vinod and his lawyers, rather than negotiate and bring this matter to a conclusion, chose to appeal that decision. We just had our Court of Appeals oral arguments 2 months ago in front of the California Court of Appeals in San Francisco. They were not impressed at all by his legal arguments, and we expect a decision from them any day.
I just don't get it. It's very baffling to me that he thinks he can just do kind of whatever he wants. And I love to hear his side of the story, but, you know, obviously he's not very responsive or cooperative.
He's gotten enough fines to that, like the fines that he's accumulated from building this gate are equivalent to what he paid for the property back in 2008. Like, he's doubling the cost just because he doesn't want to open it.
Just because he's being stubborn. The police have said that they're not going to arrest you if you go down there, so you can easily like walk down. But it's really sad for people with like disabilities or, you know, the older generation who can't walk that distance. And I mean, it's like a pretty steep hill coming back up.
Yeah.
So they have no access to it.
If you guys could say something to Khosla, like appeal to him to try to,
Yeah,
like,
if you could say anything to him.
try
what
to
would you
make
say?
him change his mind. Like, if he was standing right here, what would you say to him?
No.
I would say to him, hey, you know, please reconsider. Just open it up. You know, if you want to build your mansion on there, that's fine. But just let the beach be open to the public. Nobody cares what you want to do on your property, but the beach is the beach.
This land is your land.